Good evening, everybody. I'll just give everybody a few moments to join. My name's Ian and I'll be doing tonight's stream for Natalie and Plannercraft. And tonight we're going to be going through Canvas Workspace Online, which is the version that you find through a web browser. I'm going to do just a basic tour of all the buttons, what you find, what you can do, what you can't do, and have a quick bounce around the program and see what we can do.
I'm Natalie and I'm taking care of comments tonight, so if you want to say hello and pop that into the comments, I will pass that on to Ian along with any of your questions.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. We try and answer as many as we can. Refresh.
Okay. Okay.
Got me? Yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
As it says, it's too quiet, so let's hear you chat.
Oh, on the chat board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget you'll want the Facebook one up as well, because you need to.
Yeah. We have Karen, we have Carol.
Evening, guys.
Carol says, hey up Ian.
Somebody different tonight. See if I can get it right tonight.
Oh, Carol says she's too scared to ask questions.
Oh, don't be afraid to ask questions. Please don't.
Do you want me to put Facebook up on the iPad now that I've switched it over?
Yeah, because I shall leave it on this one for the day, so until it gets to the end. So.
If it suddenly all goes off, let us know.
Yes, if it suddenly all goes wrong, please let Natalie know. Because, mind you, you'll be watching it, so you should be able to see that.
I've got to get there first.
Should be up on your page when you get on there. That's okay. So Natalie can do comments properly.
There we go. Oh, yeah, remind me that I haven't turned the sound back down.
Ah,
There we go.
all sorted.
Yeah, all sorted.
With comments.
And yep.
Wonderful.
And we have Sarah Lou as well.
Hey, good evening, Sarah. Right, so let's start at the beginning, shall we? When you first get your scan and cut, one of the things they ask you to do is register your machine. If you have one that is internet compatible or Wi-Fi compatible, you will need to register it so that you can send your files across to it. When you first log on to Canvas Workspace, it will ask you to create an ID and eventually you'll get through to this page. At the top here, there's a little purple person, is your account information.
Karen says she hopes to learn something. She has 2 machines sitting there doing nothing.
Oh.
So,
No.
first of all, Karen, have you connected your machines to Canvas?
Yes. If not, this is the way to do it. So here we have all the information we can get. So you have your user information, so that's all your information. So anything from your name, username, your email that you use, it stores your date of birth, pretty standard information. In this one here, if you've got your machine registered, and click here, and you can see that Natalie's called it Cindy, and it's registered.
I think technically, actually, Donna called it
Donna
Cindy.
registered that one, yes. And at the bottom here you can see it's ready for data transfer, so that means that we've registered our machine and it's done. If you haven't, you can click at the bottom here for registering your machine, and then it will ask you for I think it's a 9-digit code which you find on your menu, and it's screen 6 I believe, or 5 or 6. What? What you laughing at?
Carol's purple people eater.
Oh, she's got a purple people eater. Yay! Got one eye and one arm.
Hi, Heidi.
So then you can register your machine and it asks for this code here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sorry. And it needs the one on the end as well. But these are individual to each machine. And once you've put that into the form, it will give you a PIN code which you have to put on your machine, and then the two marry up, and then this will go like this, and you'll have a nice green ready to transfer, and it will tell you your PIN if you need it. If you ever lose it or you get your letters lost. So that's that one. To get out of this, it also have, so we'll go back one. Oh, went too far. Didn't to do that. If you have any of your patterns, or you want to activate any of the patterns, if you have the codes, they come on little like credit card size voucher cards.
Yeah, little voucher cards.
You scratch off the back of the silver foil and it gives you a 16-digit code. You type it into here, they're all numbers, and you click activate, and then things like this turn up. And this just tells us that we've got 127 design patterns that we happen to have. And then you have your premium function activation. Now the only one we actually have on this is the enhanced image tracing, which Natalie has. The foiling, you don't need to actually pay for the advanced function, you can just turn it on your machine, along with the embossing. These two at the bottom are only if you have a scan and cut DX, so you have the roll feeder and the paper piercing. Again, you can just turn them on if you want to. Stamp, we actually have the box for that, so we might get around to activating that at some point. Yes?
Yeah, and we have Leslie joined us as well.
Good. And then printable sticker and rhinestone, again, they all have their own activation codes which you find in the boxes. So that's all that is. So to get out, click on Canvas Workspace, and this is the screen that you're presented with every time you log in on the online version. Now here you've got lots and lots of projects which are supplied by Brother, and there's lots of things you can try, you can play with and download and install. And all you do to get into one, if you pick a project, let's do a Christmas tree just for the hell of it. It's the first one that I saw after I got. And here you got your two mats, so you bring each mat into Canvas, and then you can send it to your machine to cut. They also have an instructions one up here. Also a helpful video, which I've never watched, so I can't see if they're any good.
The video's not too bad.
Okay, there you go. And you also have a zip file which has all the parts in which you can download to your machine. So, they're not too bad. It's just got the pictures there of what you can do with it. So, back at the top here, you have your projects. So, as you do more and more designs, and you save them, so they all get saved. So you can see here we have quite a few pages worth of projects here that we've done over the years. Different things and different designs. A lot of them before they had Canvas, the desktop version, because you don't get to save much in the desktop version. It saves to your computer rather than to an online storage. But this is always quite good because it's always there if you do need it. And fidget spinners we did. The daft things we did.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any at all in here, the only one you will have is this butterfly down here. It's one they give everybody as a sample, and it's on everybody's machine, on everybody's Canvas file. It's always there. At the top here we can then go into our pattern collection. Please let me know if I'm going too fast or not speaking clearly enough, because I do have a habit of rambling. You can see all the patterns you can get. And if you do have any of them, they have got the unlock at the top, and you can get into it there to show them all if you want to have a look at the patterns. It opens a fresh tab.
In terms of Canvas, it makes no difference which model you have as to how many things it saves.
No. Canvas will just keep saving and saving and saving, but we don't need that. And you have also the Disney ones, should anybody want them.
Hayley, which mat are you using? Hayley's struggling with white card. It may just be the card. I do find that some makes aren't as successful at cutting as others. I like to stick to sort of American Crafts cardstock. I quite like the Dove Craft texture cardstock, does quite well.
Anything else?
Paper Boutiques cardstock, they're the coordinating one.
Yeah. Just a quick note on the Disney collections. If you do buy them and use them, you can only use them for personal use. You cannot sell anything you make, or you cannot profit from it in any way, shape or form.
Even with putting it on social media,
you can't put it on.
Very careful.
Yes, because Disney are very hot on the angel policy sort of side of things, and they will come down on you like a ton of bricks, and nobody likes that. So, to get into Canvas, so we can get to our project, we're going to click on this one here, which is the new project, and this opens up our mat. Everybody okay so far?
Yep. Hayley's just saying that she uses the standard cutting mat.
Okay.
So I'll have a chat to you afterwards, Hayley, about your card issue.
Okay, so down this side, I'll go down this one first. We have my project. So, back at the start when we showed all the projects, you click on here and you can pull up all of your projects if you want to. And you can keep clicking get more if they're further back, and it will pull all your designs. Yeah. And if anybody was watching the feed the other day, there's Natalie's jig that she did for the stamping platform.
Yeah, that was me being lazy doing it on there.
Yeah. So
that was online.
So in your basic, we have all our basic shapes. So we have squares, funny edge squares, circles, ellipses, rectangles, triangles, diamonds, Pac-Mans. These are Pac-Mans if you're wondering which one the Pac-Man is. You have the absence of Pac-Man, which is the other half. You have your triangle segments, hearts, stars, arrows, funny shaped things, lots of jigsaw bits and weird little bits. Some tag shapes if you should need them, always handy. But to add those to your mat, you just click them and put one in. I should put two in, there should be another one there. So they just turn up. There we go into border, and we have all our border designs. So we have our leaves, the infamous ducks, some teddy bears, and some Christmas and some seasonal ones at the bottom there, should you need them. And to go back out of any of these, you just click the big back circle at the top. We have what they call logos, which would have been better with a different name, sentiments maybe. This is all the pre-designed text they put in. So as you can see there, we've got like the Merry Christmas, the Lucky, the Mom, My Pet, My Treasure, Play, Pure, Summer, Vacation, Welcome. You got some. You got like Happy Birthday, Merry Christmas. Yeah, Happy Birthday there. Easter. I used that one the other week, I think, when I did one of those streams. And again, just to get out of that, there's the back. And then we have text. Now, text gives you a selection of your fonts that they have. On the online version, you can only use these fonts.
Unless you have the Brother type converter.
Yes, but actually within here, even using the Brother type converter, you can't use it within online, can you?
No, you have to export it from the type converter and then bring it in as a file through SVG.
Yeah. It's not like you could bring it into type with, you'd have to type it outside and bring it in afterwards. That's what I thought. So, there we go. So you can only use it once. I do like that one, which is just me. I like the gothic looking one. Anyway, so that's your text, and you can change that to whatever you want, and you can stretch it and play with it if you press and hold Shift, it keeps it in concise and it keeps it all in contrast. Or if you let go, it will stretch. If you press and hold Shift, it will keep it all in context. And to change it, we can just double click. And we can put in our company name. And again, we click off it. Press Shift just to keep it in context, so when you shrink it down so it fits. And it fits on our page nicely. Now, if we wanted to create a mat around that, somebody asked about doing offset and how you'd offset that as a group. Just so people know, if we go up to Edit up here, and this little button here, this allows us to do our offset. So we can set it to up to 1.2 inches. Let's set it at half if we can find half. 0.52. If we want it to go outward, we'll set the original line to drawing line. And we'll have bevel edges because it will probably look better with bevel around. And we'll click OK. And there we go, it creates a nice mat around the outside. Now, the important thing to remember now is they're not grouped, so they are two individual layers. So if you want them to stay together, you have to group them to make them stay together. Now to group something, we can use A, which selects all, and then G to group it. So you don't have to press and hold Command or Control or anything else, you can just literally type the keys. And then all that is grouped and it will move around together. So far so good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any questions?
I'm just replying to Sarah about the fact that you can preview before you purchase the designs being a good thing, and I was just going to say that I agree. It is useful to see in advance. I must admit, when we bought the collection, it was actually just for the enhanced image tracing, as I found that to be infinitely more useful. I haven't actually done any of the files yet from the premium collection.
No.
There you go, Ian. A challenge for you.
No, it's alright. But going back to our buttons and what they do. So here, if we want to save something, give it a name. If you don't and you try and save, it gives it a silly name and you'll never find it again. So for the sake of your own sanity, pop it in a sensible name, and that way it makes it much easier to find when you're looking for it, when you're going back through your files. And this will save it to the cloud on the Brother cloud rather than anywhere else. So you put a project title in there and it will at least put it somewhere sensible.
Carol, I hope that's a pet rat. I'd be on the chair.
Anyway, so
Carol said she missed a bit.
she missed a bit. Which bit did you miss, Carol?
I think it's literally just the last bit of the offset, so if you want to do...
I'll do another one in a bit.
Yeah, do another one then.
I should do another one later. Okay, so going across the top buttons quickly, you have this one, which is your new project. So if I click that, it'll tell me, do I want to stay on the page or leave page? You click leave page and it just brings up a fresh canvas. So we start again. If you want to overwrite the existing project, so if you've already given it a title name and saved it once, then this will just overwrite what any changes you've done, and you just keep saving it. This one launches into your image tracing. So if you want to use the image tracing or the enhanced image tracing, that's where you find it there. Your SVG, so if you want to import a file to from your computer into Canvas, this is where we do it, and we pull it in through there. So you pick your SVG, we can choose a file. Let's see if we can find one quick. SVG, there you go, that will do it. Don't know what it is because I can't see it.
That is the only problem with SVG files, particularly on Mac, isn't it? Is that you don't get that ease of
Let's see if
preview.
you can pull it in. There you are. There's Splat reserved for Macs. So it's obviously got a like a decoupage sort of set up there, so you've got an extra bit for the Splat and an extra 4 print as well. So you can have bits. We can delete these bits out because that's just the gubbins they've put in. And then you can see we can then move all these bits around. So what I will do is group that bit because that's obviously all one. I'll group that bit.
Oh dear.
That's all one. So there we go, we can move that around. But I will say if you import something like this and you do resize, try and resize it all at the same time. I'll remember what you resize it by, because you could end up with bits of it all different sizes. And it's never good. Is it?
That's what the percentage is there for though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you try and
Keep it all together.
it's easier to do that in desktop than it is to do it in
Yes.
the online. So if you're looking at doing complex files, you definitely want to have a look at the desktop version.
Yes, because you do a lot more on this stuff, which I'm doing tomorrow night consequently, if anybody wants to see another grand tour of Workspace on the desktop. It's a completely different beast.
It's a nice beast though.
It is a nice beast, yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying I don't like it. I do like it, but I'll be doing a tour of that tomorrow at 7 o'clock as well to give it a quick guided tour. So at the top here, this is your sort of selection tool as such. So whenever you want to select anything, so if you're in any of the other tools across the top, you can use V, which is your like a selection tool, and that'll bring it back to your pointer to pick anything up. We have your nodes tools. Natalie likes those, I don't like them so much. So if you want to do a point-to-point node, and
click at the end of the
click, and it will create.
If you do want a bit more on
It
notes,
auto closes. That's weird.
Yeah.
No, like if you don't make, I didn't make that a triangle. I only did 3, and it closed it as a triangle. It didn't leave it open. What?
Is it updated?
I'll do it again. So that one to there. That one to there. I did that one down to there, and it automatically closes it. Look.
Ooh, that's weird.
But if I go across to there, then it probably makes it. Yeah, I don't have to finish. You love it when it surprises people and you think, "Oh, didn't expect it to do that."
I can just about tolerate rats, but if you just said snake, I'd definitely be.
Now that didn't do what I expected it to do. It sort of made a fish.
You plan from there, playing me notes.
Yeah, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do.
If you cross it over, it will.
I was trying to make a little house.
No,
It was upside down.
No.
Yeah, but it was upside down, so I went round that way, and I went that way, and it did that.
Yeah, because you have to go round the outside in a logical order.
I
It's not working out for you.
What's fun in that?
Yeah, so nodes are not anything at
No,
all.
I don't like codes. This one's a freehand path, so it's a freehand node, so you can scribble and make shapes if you really want to. Again, not my thing because Natalie deals with all those. You have your undo button, so if you do delete something by mistake, and you can keep going back. Yeah.
I think it might be because there's a fill on it, and I think it's optical illusion. I don't think it actually closes. So if you take the fill off it, just go back and draw a path.
Hang on.
The same way you just did with the triangle.
I'll take the fill off first. So properties. Please select an object. Okay, that's really useful. You got your zoom here, and you can do manual zoom. So let's have a look. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Let's test naturalist theory. It's not doing it now.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think it's actually closing. It's an optical illusion.
Mum, I'll talk to you later. My mum's ringing me. I'll talk to her in a bit. It's because I told her to ring me today.
You know what's going to happen? The landline's going to go next.
I know. Let me just send her a text saying I'll call her later. Bear with me 2 seconds, people. Now, do you want to talk a sec? Just while I...
Okay. So, in terms of the path tool, you can do open and closed paths. So what that means is if you want to do a score line, or let's say a shape that you just want to pop out of a card without removing it, you use an open path. And if you want it to cut out totally, you use a closed path. It's a bit hard for me to see what you got on the screen there.
I've just not got anything on at the moment. I've just got this spot. My spot's reserved for Max. That's all I've got at the moment. Yeah. I was going back into my bits at the top here to...
Oh, I'm going to squeak at you now.
That's alright, you squeak away. I just left me a voicemail as well. What do you want? Ah dear. Anyway, so at the top here we have the project. So again, you can start a new project. You can overwrite. You can save the one you have. You can count the amount of shapes on your mat. If you have lots and lots of bits and you want to know, it'll tell me. It'll go, oh, there you go, we've got 3. Because those are all grouped. And you have your import options again here. And you can change the size of your mat. So if you want the big mat or the small mat, just click on it and it'll change it. Now, edit. This is the one where you can change your alignments and your flips, the order of things, and do your process overlap. So if we put a couple of squares on, let's group everything. Let's do some basic shapes and move them all around a bit and see what I got. Oh, I don't want to put it down. Okay, so we've got some basic shapes and they all overlap a little bit. So if we want to weld, say just our bottom 2, we can use Shift to select 2 of them, and we can go into Edit, and we can weld them together. And if we select another 2, I wonder if we select all, will it weld them all? It should do, shouldn't it? Do edit, so they all overlap.
Weld it or do them all, yeah.
There you go, so we have a really weird looking shape. If you want to duplicate a shape that you've already got, you can press D, which will duplicate. And then we can use our handle here if we want to turn it around. We can use Shift to keep it on a 45 degree. I did a full loop, I didn't want to do a full circle, I'm just turning it that way. Before anybody asks, I'm not creating anything in particular, it's just a weird looking shape. And then we can all weld those together as well. Oh, didn't click them, did I? No, did. And who knows? It'll make something. Not sure what.
Carol says, is it a new tap for a jacuzzi?
Could well be, could well be. You haven't broken that one already, you only had it.
I haven't been round yet.
No, I've not broken it yet. So, going back to putting some shapes on our map. Spread them out a bit. Oh, you get 3. Try a bit more than that. Mouse is playing up, it's not clicking when I ask it to. Let's put a triangle on as well.
You can use the graphics tablet.
That's alright. So, if we want to align things up, we need to have more than one thing firstly selected. So let's say we want these two to line up. We can then go back to edit and we can now line these up. So as they're on this side, we can right align it. Left align, sorry. And we can do top bottom. We can also do middle, should we feel that way, which will just bring them together. We don't really want to do. So what we can also do, can you do the rearrange on here so it puts it best fit?
Like you can on the machine, no.
Mm.
No, you have to do that bit on the machine.
That's a little disappointing. Okay, so realign all those to top. It doesn't really see other shapes, so it'll just align everything to the top. So if you have lots of shapes on there, it doesn't really see them as other objects on the back, so you have to be careful when you're realigning things, because it will just put them wherever it thinks. So you have your flips, which you can do. So do be careful. As you can see there, just put it over the one corner there, which can be quite annoying. We can put things in different orders. So if we had our triangle inside our trapezium, just for good measure, and our circle, and we want to get to the shape underneath, but we were struggling to get to the shape underneath, shall we say. Like there, we were struggling to get to the Pac-Man. I forgot what it was called. We can move the...
I can forget Pac-Man.
Easy. So we can send the one at the front to the back, and then hopefully we can click on that one, and there we can get to our Pac-Man. So we can change the order of how it appears on the map. It's almost a little bit like you can with layers, but not quite as advanced as your layers.
I don't think you will see layers on an online version.
No.
I think it's just too computing intensive, because what you have to bear in mind is that when you are using any online software, you're actually using their computer, not your own.
Yes.
And then you've got the lag in the internet and things like that. So I just don't think you'll ever get that feature. I could be wrong, but...
Any questions? Am I rambling too fast, or are we doing okay?
You're doing just fine.
Wonderful. So, other options we have here, we have our cut, so it just takes it away. Copy. Duplicate, and that's your paste once you have something copied. So if I click copy, then my paste one will come up, and I could paste it again if I wanted to. Just put another one in. Let's move these back out. But back to other ones, we have this one here, which is our select all, which then allows us to group if we want to, and ungroup, which is the one next to it. We can put stuff in the rubbish bin, which obviously just deletes what we have. And then we can create an offset line. So this is how we did the offset before. So again, we can select that to wherever we want to. We can go outwards or inwards, so we can decide which way we want our offset to go. So around the outside of the shape or around the inside of the shape. We can decide what we do with the original line. So usually if we put our offsets around text, we set the inside line or the old line to a drawing line, because then that makes it, and we can decide what sort of edges we want, and it runs a little bevel. And there we go. So it's put a nice offset around the outside, and it's set our Actually, our inside lines are a drawing line. You can't actually set the lines in this, can you?
What? As in the line weight?
Hmm.
Doesn't make any difference anyway.
No, as in the type, whether it's a cut or a draw.
Yes, you can. In properties, it can be a cut line, it can be a draw line, or it can be both in one line.
There
Which
we
is
go. That's the one I was looking
singular
for.
advantage.
That's the one I was looking for. So your properties. So here we can decide our shape and our size. We can also do our rescale by percentage. So if we do want to make anything 10 times bigger or 100% bigger, 200% bigger, 300%, we can just pop it in there, or smaller. So if I want to reduce that by 50%, press OK, it shrinks it by 50%. Which is quite cool. So here again, so we have our sizes. So again, if we want to make it 6 by 6, just type 6 in there. If we untick this one here, our maintain aspect ratio, it will make it either a rectangle, or we can adjust the sides independently. If we want to rotate it, so being a triangle, we can, or a square, if we say 45 degrees, it will rotate it 45 degrees. The advantage of doing this when it's not on a machine is it will rotate it 45 degrees wherever it is on your mat. So even if it goes off your mat, it will rotate it. If you try and do it on your machine and you've got it too close to this red edge, it won't like it, it won't do it. It throws a fit at you and says, no, can't do that because it's got this, and it'll only turn it 37 degrees or something stupid like that. It'll only turn it daft amount.
Karen, yes, you would set it to a drawing line if you want to foil it.
Yes, for foiling, yes.
And same if you want to use the glue pen for glitter or embossing powder.
Absolutely. One of the biggest problems we have with, especially using the desktop version, is people will do a drawing and put it onto their machine and expect it to draw. And then they forget to set it as a drawing line, so they go to draw on their machine, there's nothing on their screen. What's happened? What haven't I done? And 9 times out of 10 is they've left, when you go into the desktop version, it automatically sets your line to cut lines. And if you don't change it, it doesn't know any different. So it automatically thinks, oh, it's a cut line. If you wanted to draw that and you haven't told it, then it won't.
But at least on the online, if you don't say, it does both.
Yes, if you don't change it or mess with it, you have cutting and drawing lines. So it leaves it there. And you also then have your dash patterns, so you can do your score lines or dotted lines should you need them.
Okay, Karen says that's handy to know, thank you.
That's okay. And I'm pretty much done, to be honest. Oh, last little bit. When you're happy with your design on your mat and you want to send it to your machine, we have the big purple, blue on some screens, depending on your colour calibration.
Yeah, that's going to be my stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Calibrating monitors.
You can click this one here and it's download, and it asks you how you want to send it to your machine. So if you have a machine that is Wi-Fi enabled, you can send it this way via the cloud, which then sends it up to the internet and back down to your machine. And it doesn't matter where you are when you send this. Your machine doesn't have to be in the same room, it doesn't have to be on the same network. You can send it to your machine from anywhere. We've had our Canvas set up in London, and we've sent a file to our machine in Worcester, and when we get back it's sat there waiting for us on the machine.
Also handy.
Yes, also handy if you need, you're doing something in a class and you want to send it somewhere, it will happily send it. Or you can save it to your machine, to your laptop, sorry. So you can save it here.
Quickly, I'm going to say to Zena that all the streams are available both on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitch. So by all means, go and have your dinner. Enjoy yourself.
I was asking how long I'm going to be. Not long. I'm almost done.
No, so that she's going to have to catch up.
No, that's okay. Yeah, we don't take them down, so unless they get taken down automatically, we leave them up. But when you save it in here, it saves it as an FCM file, which is your format your machine likes. Is it fabric cutting machine?
Yeah.
FCM, yeah. So it saves it as the right format for your machine, so it sends it direct to your machine. It's quite happy to do that. When you're done, you just click close and it will send it to your machine. Other than that, up the top here, what have we got? I can't remember what that one is. That goes back to my projects, and that one logs you out. And should you need any help, give us a shout rather than go to Brother, because they're useless.
Please tell me you didn't just say that on my live stream.
They're not the most helpful, I must admit. Yes. Anyway, and that is a very quick and brief tour of Brother. The only other thing I was going to show you quickly is down here. Is you can switch easily between millimetres and inches for your dimensions. Anything else, you can just set at the bottom. Also, if you have lots of different bits on your mat, so if you have lots of lines that are cutting lines and lots of bits that are drawing lines, and you only want to see a particular type, you can click here and it will only show that particular line on your mat. So if you do have, if I set some of these to draw only, leave some to cut.
Yeah, there's honesty and then it can be awfully blunt.
So if I click show cutting line only, there you can see it shows that those are cutting lines. It's grades those out so you can see that they're draw lines. And if we swap it the other way, it does the opposite. Obviously these are cut and draw, so it will show them all. What? Filter? What filter? And that, as I say, is that. I hope you all enjoyed your little tour of the online canvas. As I said, I'm back tomorrow evening doing the desktop version, which will take me a bit longer because there's a bit more to play with on the...
An awful lot more to play with on there.
Yeah, on the offline one, or the desktop version. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us and ask. We're always about online, even when we're supposed to be asleep. That we do.
No comment.
No comment, yes. So yeah, please don't hesitate to ask any questions. If you do try to join our group of the Scan and Cut classes, papercraft and workshops and something else. It's in a very long title which I can never remember. If you do ask to be a member of that, because it is a private group, please answer all the questions, including remembering to tick the little box at the end which says that you agree to the rules and terms and conditions of the group. There aren't many of them, they're only simple ones, but you know, it just makes our life easier if you agree to those. Other than that, all our videos are up on Facebook. 90% of them are on the group of Plannercraft. There's a few on the Scan and Cut group, and there's obviously the new ones that we're doing, which are going out on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, which are in just Natalie's profile. We are slowly uploading all the other ones onto YouTube, but it's a long and slow process. So. And there's plenty of them. There's 48 I think they've got to be uploaded now, because 2 of them are already up there. So, but we're working our way through slowly. So on that note, if there's no further questions, Madam, any further questions?
Not at the moment, no. Lots of thank yous and Sarah agreeing with you.
Okay. And we'll be back tomorrow. We're back at 11 in the morning with what we're back in the morning with? Go on, Dee, you got it on the piece of paper behind
We are
you.
doing the 5-item challenge.
Oh,
So
5-item challenge.
that means Ian gets to shop my stash. It's like, no.
No, I like 5-item challenges, don't I, dear? Because it throws you completely usually.
Yeah. And then in the afternoon we have card making your vote, so then you get to set the challenge.
Yeah. So that's being a bit like the Canvas one that we did, where we'll give you the options to choose from and you can pick. We're still looking at a way to see if we can do the poll and stream through the 3 networks, or if it's going to have to be a different way. But we shall see how that goes.
Maybe that we just get you to comment on that one.
Yeah, it might be just a comment. And then I'm back at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, and I shall be doing the desktop version of Canvas for another guided tour. You've also got Barbara at 10 o'clock in the morning if you want to do a bit of doodling. It's very therapeutic, also I'm told. Not yet had a chance to do one, but and then you have Lou at 12, Pete at 12:30, Leslie from Chocolate Baroque at 1:30, and us at 2. Pete's back at 4 doing his card making, and then we're back again at 7 o'clock.
And Karen says I'm brave because she never let hers in the bathroom.
Oh, husband. Yeah. No, she doesn't let me in, she doesn't get anything because.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on that note, I shall bid you all good night and stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. If Natalie did me the kind courtesy of turning me off, which would be wonderful.
And
Back tomorrow.
Back tomorrow.